This KFAN podcast is sponsored by Builders and Remodelers, exclusive Twin Cities provider of Elements Windows. Get the highest quality windows at unmatchable value. Visit buildersandremodelers.com for more details.
My name is Desiree, and I'm a first-generation college student.
I'm Zach. I'm undecided in my major, and I'm a catcher.
This message was sent to you.
$500 down the toilet along with your performance. You are worthless.
Get the hell off the field before you lose me any more money, you sorry
This is wrong.
I'm more than a bet.
Stop harassing college athletes over a bet. Learn more at morethanabet.org.
Want to pull off the season's freshest trends? You just need the right shoes. That's where Designer Shoe Warehouse comes in. Loving wide-leg jeans? Pair them with sleek, low-profile sneakers. Obsessed with the sheer trend? Try it with mesh flats. Feeling boho? Comfy sandals nail the whole free-spirited thing. Find on-trend shoes from the brands you love, like Birkenstock, Nike, Adidas, and more at DSW.
Get this, adults with financial literacy skills have 82% more wealth than those who don't. From swimming lessons to piano classes, us parents invest in so many things to enrich our kids' lives. But are we investing in their future financial success? With Greenlight, you can teach your kids financial literacy skills like earning, saving, and investing. And this investment costs less than that after-school treat. Start prioritizing their financial education and future today with a risk-free trial at greenlight.com/iHeart. Greenlight.com/iHeart.
Fan.
Wobble, wobble.
Personal foul. Personal foul. Clipping.
Good stuff.
Time for two more.
Big boy's back.
9 to noon. Lavelle Neal III, columnist, Star Tribune, StarTribune.com, via the tweet machine. In the business, some call it X, including the man who owns the company. You can follow Lavelle at Lavelle Neal via X. He's a columnist for the Strib, and he's ballyhooed, and he joins us now. How you been? Good seeing you, my man. And I don't know why I didn't text you a couple of Father's Day, because I ended up going to Bunkers, and because I had a Monday off, and I'm like, you know what? Let's go let the proverbial hair down a little bit. And I'd been texting with Julius Collins that week about a Prince show. And I'm like, you know what? I haven't been there in a while. So I went down to Bunkers 8 days ago and got there about 9:40. They were right into their first song. And Julius and Margaret Cox and that group, which is well, the group's had a lot of like Billy Franzi, I don't know if he's the founder, but he's Guitar Immortality. He died, God rest his soul. So I didn't recognize the new guitar player. There's a third singer. I think her name's Monique. She's phenomenal. There's a singer that I'm sure. Are you familiar with like a famous singer named Deborah Cox? And she has this song, "When it's supposed to be here," like you weren't supposed to be here. I mean, it's an awesome song. Later reminded me of her.
Okay.
I was infatuated with that third voice with Julius and Margaret. So anyway, they're back at it on Sundays for sure. Mondays maybe, but Sundays for sure. And man, they just, and you know, at their age, just close to our age, they just still bring it.
So it's just like old times
on the Sunday Night Covenant, man.
That's awesome to hear.
Yeah, you'll love it when you start getting down there. Now, end of the Lavelle is a columnist for the Star Tribune. All right, and the the end of Saturday in the shutout loss to the Brew Crew, both teams had position players pitching.
Oh, God.
So I'm sitting down with, I'm at CBY Track Flack. Jeff Madey's going into the Canterbury Park Hall of Fame, which is super cool, and chatting with Johnny the Mouse Mickelson, and there's the Star Tribune. I'm like, hey, I'm going to read Wobble's column. And don't have to search for it and the app and the whole thing. So I'm just going to read it out of the newspaper. And there was part of the column very early, not the lead LEDE, maybe paragraph 2 or 3, where Lavelle writes, this is not the way the game was meant to be played. And it involved position player Jonah Bride, who had 4 outings pitching the last couple of weeks.
Right.
What triggered you to write that? And good morning.
I just get fed up with the whole thing. Because managers, the over-managing that takes place, especially with handling a bullpen, and now allowing pitchers to go through a lineup a third time because you're worried about hitter familiarity. It just grates on me. And the thing about Friday's game was that the Brewers had this young kid named Jacob Mizorowski.
Yeah, he's nice.
Throws 102 miles an hour with a nasty-ass slider.
That was only a second start.
Yeah, took a no-hitter into the 7th inning. Okay. That should have been the main story. You know, I mean, it was an intrigue there because actually Joe Ryan was hanging with him for a while. There was a run scored. The Brewers were leading 1-0, and there was not a hit in the game because the Brewers scored their first run on a walk, stolen base, advancing a ground out, and then a sacrifice fly. You know.
Yeah.
So the game was fascinating from that standpoint. Who was going to blink first? You know, who's going to give up hits? And then it just went haywire. The Brewers scored 14 runs over the last 3 innings.
Yes.
You know, so here comes Jonah Bride out again. And so then the Brewers are up big, and so they don't want to use their pitchers up, so they bring in Jake Bowers, the former Rays prospect. You know, so I'm sitting there looking at this, and I'm like, this game's gotten drunk all of a sudden because we're enjoying a great pitching matchup, and now we got position players pitching.
Right.
I'm like, this sucks, and I hate it. You know,
Yeah.
And I know that's the way the game is played, and there's a cap on how many pitchers a team can have. I'm for adding another spot in the roster, go 27 and make it another pitcher, just to avoid this crap.
It's not fun to watch.
No, it's not at all.
For instance, the Dodgers were killing the San Francisco Giants the other night.
Right.
And the Giants did the same thing. Oh, no, excuse me. The Dodgers did the same thing. They brought a position guy in, can't remember who it was, to pitch. And, okay, a 9-run lead goes down to 4, down to 5. Is it getting kind of nervous and nerve-wracking? No, because they will. So then they had to get up a normal bullpen guy just in case.
Right.
It's not even fun to watch. I mean, the novelty of watching a position guy come out in a 10-run game, it was fun and cool and cute at one point, like Jose Canseco. The guy you referenced, the former Dodger, Kiki Hernandez.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that was, what, say it again?
Kike.
Yeah, Kike. That was the bomb for a minute because he actually was decent. But, I mean, the whole novelty's worn off, right?
Plus, I guess I got mad, too, because Tuesday I went to the Saints game to do a story at Aaron Sabato, the former first-round pick, who needed 3.5 years at AA to get to AAA, you know. And Monday's an off day in the minors, okay? So this was Tuesday. So everybody's rested. So the game goes into extra innings. And Toledo brings in a position player to pitch.
Yeah.
And I'm like, your bullpen's rested. What the hell's going on here?
Right.
And I'm looking at his numbers, though. He actually had like a 2 ERA. He actually had been effective. He throws a knuckle curve, and then he fires a 80-something mile an hour fastball.
Yeah.
To keep hitters. So the Saints score a run in the 10th because Toledo scored a run in the top of the 10th. Saints tied a game in the bottom of the 10th. He comes back out for the 11th.
Is it the Mud Hens?
Yes. And so Toledo ends up winning. He ends up winning the game. He pitched 2 innings. And I'm like,
that's what? Impossible.
I'm sure that there probably was some carryover effect.
Yeah.
Watching that crap.
Well, see what
into watching what I saw on Friday.
Right, I understand. And one of many things I liked about your column, it's the 3-2, and this was the first part of it. Is you went outside of the box, even though I don't necessarily either agree or I can't figure it out, so therefore I inherently have to disagree, that you're looking for rules changes in the case teams use position players to pitch. So like the first one where if you use Jonah Bride on a Sunday and you play the M's on a Monday, you can't use your designated hitter. We can't do that.
I was being snarky there.
Oh, were you?
There's some snarky.
Okay, my bad. I was being gullible then.
But the other bit, which was below that section,
add one. Yes.
My argument was,
I like this.
The Twins need to just bleep and play better.
Yep.
Okay,
or add a 14 something.
Yeah. So which brings us to this weekend's debacle against Milwaukee.
Right.
Okay. The Twins are playing like ass right now. Okay. The Milwaukee game should have been a moment of clarity for them about how you have two-strike approaches.
Which one?
How you put the ball in play, how you run your ass off. Christian Yelich, one of the key players in that team, hit a tapper back to the mound, busted his ass down the field, down the base path to get to first base.
Yep.
He didn't give up on it.
Yep.
He didn't take anything for granted.
Yep.
All right. They're base running, a situational hitting, just making contact when you need it.
Yeah.
Not swinging on your ass 0-2.
Yep.
The Twins should have seen what that looks like from the Milwaukee Brewers because they're not playing well.
Well, I've seen Correa go 50 to 80% on double play situations like that. Like, are there others? Is it like team wide?
Well, Correa, before the game yesterday, he's in the dugout with some back wrap on. I'm like, okay, what's going on with this? If there's something bugging him, sit his ass down because he's hurting the team. All
Trying to mummify him up in this thing.
He should not be batting cleanup right now. I wish I could look it up. I wrote a story. I think he's making like $200,000 a game or something with that $35 million salary he has. Something ridiculous.
And mummification.
They're not getting anything from him other than excellent defense. I mean, he's a moving clinic at short.
Yep.
I can't take that away from him.
Yeah, he's terrific.
But when you're making $35 million a year, I got to see some offense.
Don't let me forget this. The shortstop second base bit.
No.
Their names Trang, whatever.
Oh, for Milwaukee?
Yeah. And Frelick. Bro, that's a nice little shortstop second base bit they have there, by the way, defensively.
Yeah, they got a nice little roster. They got speed, they got some pop.
Like Bryce Trang or whatever.
Trang or something like that. Yeah. Pat Murphy, who's seen it all, done it all. He's made the transition from a successful college coach to a successful, major league coach.
But see, they're good. They're good, not great. And I wouldn't bet Milwaukee to go to the World Series or win it. Right. However, as I said, when we did a Twins talkback earlier, we'll play some talkbacks for you here in about 10 minutes. It's like from a hope selling standpoint. Is it Mizorowski?
Yes.
On Friday night, I mean, you know so much more about this than me, man. Do we have anything close to that that's like under a rock that they're just waiting for or something?
I started that throws 102. I don't know if he exists anywhere else in baseball.
Okay. I'm talking about a hope seller. Somebody who's young will come into it. You can get behind them and like have some hope that the future is going to be so bright that they got to have a shades giveaway.
Not from a pitching standpoint. I would say Walker Jenkins may be that guy.
Okay.
The outfielder who's at Double-A right now. He keeps having an ankle problem, so he hasn't played a lot this year.
That's sweet.
But he's even with the being banged up, I believe he's still one of the top 10 prospects in all of baseball. So that would be a type of guy who could be a box office draw. So. Buxton, by the way, is playing the best baseball of his career. And he's actually ranked first. He's probably the best center fielder in baseball right now.
Can't argue.
So,
Lavelle Neal III for a couple of segments, columnist, Star Tribune. The Mariners are in town. That plus some NBA Finals conversation.
Polanco.
And more. Ori Polanco's back in town. Well, Mitch Garver, too, right?
Yes.
I think he's a Mariner. We'll get into all that. But today, ladies and gentlemen, as we mentioned atop the show, the 9 to noon, vast and ever-expanding audio network, incredibly tickled and fortunate to share the cash thing has returned.
Oh, no.
Do you like money? People like money. So therefore, between 12 after and 27-ish after, make sure you listen to 9 to noon each and every weekday because we got money to give away, and it goes like this.
The Fan and BigDeck.com want to give you a chance to win some bonus bucks with the National Cash Contest. Go to KFAN.com, enter the keyword green, and you might win $1,000 with the keyword green at KFAN.
My name is Desiree, and I'm a first-generation college student.
I'm Zach. I'm undecided in my major, and I'm a catcher.
This message was sent to you.
$500 down the toilet along with your performance. You are worthless.
Get the hell off the field before you lose me any more money, you sorry
This is wrong.
I'm more than a bet.
Stop harassing college athletes over a bet. Learn more at morethanabet.org.
Ryan Reynolds here from Mint Mobile. With the price of just about everything going up, we thought we'd bring our prices down. So to help us, we brought in a reverse auctioneer, which is apparently a thing.
Mint Mobile Unlimited Premium Wireless. How to get 30, 30, bit to get 30, bit to get 20, 20, 20, bit to get 20, 20, bit to get 15, 15, 15, 15, just $15 a month? Sold!
Give it a try at mintmobile.com/switch.
Upfront payment of $45 for 3-month plan, equivalent to $15 per month required. New customer offer for first 3 months only. Speed slow after 35 gigabytes if network's busy. Taxes and fees extra. See mintmobile.com.
The last thing anyone wants is to leave behind confusion, stress, or worse, family conflict. That's why estate planning isn't just for the wealthy. It's for families like mine, and probably like yours. With Trust and Will, I created my estate plan in minutes. From naming guardians for my kids to putting our house in a trust to avoid probate. Fast, affordable, and way easier than I thought. Every plan is designed by estate planning attorneys and customized for your state. Plans start at just $199 and include essentials like healthcare directives and power of attorney. With Trust and Will's bank-level security and built-in privacy protections, your personal information and your wishes stay safe. Whether you're newly married, raising kids, caring for aging parents, or just want peace of mind, Trust and Will makes it easy to protect what matters most. Go to trustandwill.com, use code RADIO at checkout, and save 20% on your personalized plan. Because there's no better time to protect the people you love. Trust and Will is an online estate planning service. See website for details.
And
You like that?
Lavelle Neal III, columnist, Star Tribune. You predicted in print in the column yesterday, StarTribune.com, or pick up a copy if it's still available.
You did read
the Minnesota Twins. Of course, I did. If we're gonna do a bit or plan a bit, and somebody has a doctor's appointment, the bit gets canceled or postponed, I'm going to properly prepare to the best of my ability for the bit. So it's not just simply because I don't share things every single week that I read from the bit doesn't mean I don't follow it. Because you predicted in print the Minnesota Twins will split with the Mariners here the next 4. I want to know how you came up with that. And here's why. Okay, the Mariners are better. Mm-hmm. They're incrementally better. Mm-hmm. They're marginally better. And mm-hmm. the Mariners, the Mariners are they're no bargain in any situation. They just how about that wind at Wrigley Field? I'm waiting to see what they're going to do at Canterbury on Saturday and what are we going to do with the Basset Hounds on Sunday. So I'm looking at my phone and everything. And so I'm looking at some odds. And I see the over-under on Mariners Cubs early Saturday at Wrigley Field was 8.5, 9. An hour later, it went to 12.5.
Because of the wind?
The wind was 40 miles per hour straight out. And I think the combined score in that game had 25 runs. So, pop flies. And this Cal Raleigh, by the way, those going to any of the next 4 games, he's an MVP candidate.
Yeah, I know.
I know Aaron Judge is prohibitively favored to win it. He's probably going to win it. And there are some others who, are in this MVP-esque conversation. Mm-hmm. This Cal Raleigh for the Mariners, you're going to see a really good one if you're going to any of these next 4 games.
Yeah, on my Chip Music podcast, we had a debate. Jim Suhan wrote a column saying if Buxton has a 30-30 season, he should be in the MVP conversation. And I'm like, what Aaron Judge is doing right now is ridiculous. He's batting .366. He's hitting with all kinds of power. He was the MVP last year with a 10-WAR season and had Juan Soto. He's even hitting better this year without Juan Soto helping him in the lineup.
Right.
So I just can't see how that Aaron Judge thing is going to get busted here.
Agreed. But Cal Raleigh, I mean, if
he's got 30 homers now,
if Judge comes into the season the 1-5 favorite in horse racing terms,
right,
and Raleigh is in gate 10 at 40-1. You're getting your money, or 50-1 or higher. You're getting your money's worth if you put a little $2 spotty on that. The guy's numbers are unbelievable.
That's when you do a one with all,
right? A Judge with all for the exact one.
Exactly.
But what would lead you to think, because their record, and I forgot to write it down, the Twins' record against teams with a winning record, it's abysmal. And the Mariners are only, I think, 2 above 500 or whatever, but it's still a winning record. So, how'd you come to this conclusion?
Well, I wrote it Friday, so it was before the last 2 games of the Brewers series.
Enough said.
When the Twins were playing horrible.
Amen.
And Seattle's I still think Seattle's in their weight class. I don't think the Twins are punching above their weight class this week. Okay. It was basically at the time, it was how I thought the Twins were rolling at the time.
Yeah.
If you look at the pitching matchups, they have one game in which they probably have a favorable pitching matchup, and that's when Joe Ryan's pitching on Wednesday. The others, like tonight's game, is going to be a tester because Wu is a really good, solid starter for the Mariners.
Is it a 3-game series or 4?
4.
Okay.
So, but I think because they're at home that they will cough up 2 victories and split the 4 games.
Okay.
So I like
is
Ryan's
not losing to
Wednesday.
a winning team.
Right.
It's pushing.
And then they'll go to Detroit and lose 2 out of 3.
Okay. Yeah, they get Skubal, I think, in that final.
They got Jackson Joby. They got
the Sunday game is Skubal, yeah.
Is it for sure?
Yep.
You pack a lunch with that one.
Yeah, Detroit's got a really good start in rotation.
Well,
man.
the Flaherty bit's up and down. What's Job's first name?
Jackson, I believe.
Yeah, he's pretty nice.
Yes, he is.
All right. I'm gonna explain a talkback situation to you momentarily, but first, since we tripped on it, you ready? And I'm going to take this sheet here that has this first name written down on it.
Okay.
And I'm going to turn it down so you don't think I'm cheating. I think you're going to beat me in this game anyway, and we do this every so often, June, July, and August.
What game is this?
June, July, or August. You ready? All-time Mariners, you versus me, can't be on the... Get out your phone. Okay. You're not going to cheat, are you?
No.
Okay. You're probably... You're minus 240 here, so let me get it out. Can't be on the current team. I will begin with Ken Griffey Jr.
Ken Griffey Sr.
That's elite. That's well done. Jay Buhner.
Edgar Martinez.
Mark Langston.
Brett Boone.
Oh, great. Are you kidding me?
Check your watch and tell me what time it is.
What time is it? I'm dead in my own game.
Now peek your head out.
Dan Wilson.
And tell me what the climate is.
The climate's hot, and it's my head because I'm a hothead right now by crafting this game, having 7 names I thought of this morning.
I believe Richie Sexton played for the Mariners as well.
Now we're happy. Mark Did you say Langston?
Yep.
Yeah, we're happy.
I was looking for an Ichiro side in.
Ichiro! Come on.
Harold Reynolds.
Harold Baines.
I always liked, was it Raul Ibanez?
There we go. Okay, now you guys are flexing.
There you go.
And now you guys are just flexing on me.
Joey Cora?
Joey Cora, yes. Geez, just Alex Rodriguez? Okay, 3-2, stupid game.
Sasaki, the closer.
Yeah, Sasaki.
And my ace in the hole was a pitcher for the Mariners named Josias Manzanillo. Who got hit in the line drive under the belt and lost a testicle.
Will the ownership bid for the Twins ever get solved?
I think it will be.
Okay, how? Or how and like when and how much does it? Because I said it earlier, just spitballing. You'd know more than me. Derek Falvey. I like the guy, man. I got a lot of respect for him.
Yep. And
it's operating under these conditions and this climate, that job. How hard is it to do that job right now?
Yeah, it starts at the top. I mean, people want to get mad at Rocco. Rocco's playing the roster he's been given. Falvey put together the roster based on the parameters he was given. It starts at the top. And to me, this whole thing started to swirl around the drain at the end of the 2023 season when the Twins beat the Blue Jays in the playoffs and had momentum going, and they did not add. And instead, they kind of pared back the payroll. Right. And that's where they're at now. But the last conversation I had, there were 2 interested parties. They toured the stadium. This is more than just kicking tires or just inquiry. This is serious interest. So,
Oh, that's happening now.
Yes. That's happened in recent weeks.
Oh, that's sweet.
Yeah. So the thing that the family's going to have a discussion about is that if someone actually gives them $1.5 billion, the Free can take it.
Yeah.
All right. I think the Twins want 1.7. That's the rumor. And I think that's going to be a harder number now because the Rays may be sold for 1.7. So that may influence what the Twins are asking for. And just the sports ownership landscape is crazy now. The Lakers are going for $10 billion. 10. And it's the Walter guy who's bankrolling the Women's Hockey League. It's the Walter Cup guy.
Yeah.
Who's buying the team.
Good for him.
In 1979, Jerry Buss bought the Lakers, the LA Kings, and the LA Forum from Jack Kent Cooke for $67 million.
Wow.
So they're clearing $9.3 billion.
That's unbelievable.
On this deal. And they probably spun off the Kings and made money off of that.
But I mean,
I don't know what the Forum is right now. Is it still standing? Is it still in use or what?
There's a big evangelical Sunday church bit where they Inglewood and they all come from, they fill it up for that, I know. I don't know if it's profitable or whatever, but I don't know what they do during the course of the week.
Right. So
it still looks beautiful.
Still, I mean, the selling of sports franchises is in a very interesting stage right now, and I can understand why the Twins will want 1.7 if that is indeed the number they're seeking.
Mm-hmm.
But if they can't get quite there, if it ends up being 1.516, I think they got to take it because just how the last few years have transpired, on top of whatever feelings this fan base has about the ownership group, that it's time for a break. It's time for a break.
Yeah.
So,
do you think they'll lose? Like, do baseball teams ever lose money? And why I bring it up is because at times the crowds have been abysmal this year, especially early of late, but weather's played into that.
Yep.
Then you think of the Trop at the Flop, and I know they're now at the minor league place with 10,000, but like Trop at the Flop was off, or Flop at the Trop was awful for the Rays. So do teams get in situations where they have the 81 home games and they're not bringing many people in, and then you got to pay players and everything where they actually lose money?
Well, a sports website that will go nameless reported that the Twins were carrying $400 million in debt. So that's another thing to consider when someone's trying to buy this team. They got to take on the debt load. So they have been losing some money. If you think about the last just couple of years, about 120 million of that is the 2 years that they got crappy television revenue because of the debacle and Carlos Correa's contract. It's just not a good situation too. But it's amazing that the Rays could go for 1.7, especially they're facing television, I believe, TV rights issues like the Twins are.
It's all over the place, man. Cleveland, Atlanta.
There's a fear that there's going to be a work stoppage after the 2026 season. It's still not stopping interest in buying a sports team.
Wobble, Chicago has Comcast and what, WGN?
WGNs are, and do the Cubs still have that marquee network? I think the Cubs are on marquee.
Okay, so I mean they're like MSG network, yes. Okay, so we're talking New York City, we're talking big of big. But here's the question: is this market top 16ish? This market, 15 or 16?
I'll go with that. Yeah.
Is this market big enough to have two sports television providers? So in other words, say Comcast came into the covenant and that's like, we're going to pump all this money in and we're going to run it. And then say, I don't know, Rupert Murdoch, Fox Sports, I don't know what it would be. So therefore you have two that will show live programming and then have ancillary programming with it. And so therefore the team, specifically the Twins, now it's like, all right, well, Nordo just rolled in with Comcast and he's offering me $2 for this season. Paul, you've had Victory Sports for X amount of years at $1.40. That ain't the price of poker anymore. You got to get up to $2.01. And then they go back and forth. I mean, it would benefit the team.
I'm not a television broadcast revenue mind.
I just wonder if this market's big enough to have that.
I would lean toward no on that. Because in the last year, the television deal, the Twins are just getting $58 million in TV broadcast.
I see.
Revenue. Whereas the Yankees and the Dodgers are getting $200, $300 million from their.
It's ridiculous.
TV. Their payroll basically is met by the TV revenue.
But some of it's shared, right?
Yeah. certain percentages. And that's the conversation. I'm glad you brought that up. That's a conversation baseball clubs are going to have. I was told at the beginning of the year they're starting to have these conversations about putting all their local revenue in one pot and splitting it equally. I think it's
Yankees will hate that.
I think it's like 38% now. I think 40% or something right now.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that would curtail some of the disparity. But you cannot, I mean, the Mets have a $200 million payroll. A payroll $200 million more than the Twins last year. You can't, you can't have that disparity.
We, the talker at the free iHeart app for today was, what do you think of the Twins? And I didn't lay it out. Except like mine was like, it's not necessarily appointment viewing. I appreciate the season Buxton's having. I don't go out of my way to watch it. If it's on for hot fun in the summertime and background vocals, I'm cool with that. I love going to games. Target Field is the bomb. I think the food there is phenomenal. As long as I can leave in the 6th, 7th, or 8th inning, then I'm happy. So that's like my lot in life, and we're not judging anybody's lots in life. So I was just like, what do you think of the Twins? And we got a million talkbacks on it. We've already played about 10 to 15. Really? Yeah, let's play a couple more.
Good morning, gentlemen. With the way Byron Buxton's been playing some of his best baseball, I know he's one of the only reasons really to tune in and watch. But
here we go.
Is it time we trade him with his injury history? Is there another team, not in our division, that needs a hot bat in the lineup? Possibly get that future ace, a young prospect? This is the only time I feel like that we haven't had anything in the chamber in the minor leagues. What do you guys think?
What do you think?
First of all, the Twins farm system still is considered being a top half in Major League Baseball.
Ain't got no Mizorowskis.
No. Who does though?
That's a good point.
He was a second round pick. Everybody could have drafted him.
Yeah, good point.
You know, so this trading Buxton thing's popped up here. I believe he has a limited no trade clause in his contract. But you have to keep in mind that what you're seeing from his career is what everybody else is seeing from his career, which has been injury plagued. So if you're thinking that you're going to trade Buxton, all of a sudden get a team's number one prospect, and that team has watched Buxton on the IL for 5, 6, 7 years, you got another thing coming.
Right.
You know, so, I mean, see, it's much easier said than done. So, you want to add, you want more Buxtons than less Buxtons right now. So the Twins can use all the bats they can get. And regardless if you like it or not, I believe the Twins are still just 2 games out of a wild card spot. And
that's it?
Going into this weekend, Paul.
Are you kidding me?
12 of the 15 American League teams were within 2.5 games of the wild card spot.
Oh, geez.
You know, so because when you start thinking about what's going to happen before the trade deadline, you got 12 teams in the AL going, hey, we may be in it. We may have a shot here.
And Boston trades Devers, and it went over negatively, I think, in the Red Sox clubhouse.
It sure in hell did.
So they, so I don't know what their lot in life is, but I mean, they got a nice little team there, but especially with Crochet pitching, I wish we had 2 of those. But I wouldn't, but like, I ain't tripping on them now all of a sudden.
Yeah. So I'm looking at the standings now. It's 12 out of 15. That are at least 2.5 games. So 2.5 games out of the last wild card spot.
Yep.
So the 3 teams that are not, Baltimore 6.5 out of a wild card spot. Athletics are 9. White Sox 15.
Yeah. Yeah. White Sox are not embarrassing anymore. They're bad, but they're not embarrassing. They got a couple of pitchers like this Burke and a couple others who are decent. So they're selling a little hope on the south side of Chicago. Talk back time.
Well, and our team keeps inching closer and closer to those White Sox, by the way. Talk back.
Aloha, PA. It's
Aloha.
Josh from South Minneapolis. Iran's nuclear weapon production capabilities are in better shape than the Minnesota Twins right now.
Oh, come on, man.
Thank you.
Wow, that's a shot.
Yeah, I know. Wow. Man, Abbott told me.
And there's no proof that we destroyed that nuclear plant in Fordo yet.
You talk about a prophecy. Abbott told me multiple decades ago, political rubes are far more aggressive than sports rubes. And that was like 20 years ago he told me that. And I'm like, okay, well, I'm not really that much into politics. John Kriesel tweeted something yesterday and I thought was just a cool tweet. So I retweeted it during the NBA Finals game.
You got assaulted.
Well, yes. From all angles, like only 8 or 9 times. But I was like, why even one? I mean, I shouldn't have gone down that road. But Abbott was right a couple of decades ago.
As a member of the Star Tribune, now they encourage us to not opine on political issues when we're on making appearances on this radio show or other outlets.
Understood.
So I'm glad of that because if they weren't such a bridge, my Twitter feed would be even more of a cesspool.
Kreese tweeted, I am intrigued by the people who are scared about Iran retaliating against us because of this attack, but are not afraid about what Iran would do with nuclear weapons. You can't have it both ways, friends. I agree. I mean,
he's right.
It's right, but it's a baseline low hanger.
Yeah.
It's not even super deep in the weeds. I'm like, Kreese, go ahead.
I think all political talkers start neck deep these days, it feels like. So,
all right, Covenant Cleanup. I just got an email from someone who informed me that Jackson Jobe had Tommy John surgery a week ago.
Think he didn't?
So he's not in the rotation right now.
Yep. That's Jackson Jobe for the Tigers.
Yes.
Well, the book of Job has taken a turn. One more talk back if you don't mind.
Yeah, let me find one here. Let me see.
Great job with these today, by the way, the Nords.
Hey, PN Nordo. Saleh from Chaska. I'll frame it up like this. First of all, our owners are trying to oversell the team. They're not going to improve the team by trade because they're trying to make as much money as possible. They're not trying to spend any money. And our hitting sucks. Besides Buck, nobody's hitting. It's over.
See, that the therapeutic Davenport of love is available for the talkbackers.
Yeah. I hope he felt better after sending that.
Correct.
I hope he has an awesome Monday.
Some have proven medically that when you get things off your chest like that, it helps mental clarity. So that's what we're here for.
Right. Tigers rotation is Tariq Skubal, Jack Flaherty, who's 5-8. He's tied for the American League lead in losses.
Yeah, he's diseased.
Casey Mai 7-2. Kiter Montero 3-1. And
Mark the Bird Fidrich.
Reese Olson 4-3.
Not bad. You're the best. Talk to you soon, all right?
Thanks for having me here.
Yeah, for sure. Lavelle Neal III, columnist, Star Tribune, in ballyhooed fashion. Our final.
My name is Desiree, and I'm a first-generation college student.
I'm Zach. I'm undecided in my major, and I'm a catcher.
This message was sent to you.
$500 down the toilet along with your performance. You are worthless.
Get the hell off the field before you lose me any more money, you sorry
This is wrong.
I'm more than a bet.
Stop harassing college athletes over a bet. Learn more at morethanabet.org.
Ryan Reynolds here from Mint Mobile. With the price of just about everything going up, we thought we'd bring our prices down. So to help us, we brought in a reverse auctioneer, which is apparently a thing.
Mint Mobile Unlimited Premium Wireless. How to get 30, 30, bit to get 30, bit to get 20, 20, 20, bit to get 20, 20, bit to get 15, 15, 15, 15, just $15 a month? Sold!
Give it a try at mintmobile.com/switch.
Upfront payment of $45 for 3-month plan, equivalent to $15 per month required. New customer offer for first 3 months only. Speed slow after 35 gigabytes if network's busy. Taxes and fees extra. See mintmobile.com.
The last thing anyone wants is to leave behind confusion, stress, or worse, family conflict. That's why estate planning isn't just for the wealthy. It's for families like mine, and probably like yours. With Trust and Will, I created my estate plan in minutes. From naming guardians for my kids to putting our house in a trust to avoid probate. Fast, affordable, and way easier than I thought. Every plan is designed by estate planning attorneys and customized for your state. Plans start at just $199 and include essentials like healthcare directives and power of attorney. With Trust and Will's bank-level security and built-in privacy protections, your personal information and your wishes stay safe. Whether you're newly married, raising kids, caring for aging parents, or just want peace of mind, Trust and Will makes it easy to protect what matters most. Go to trustandwill.com, use code RADIO at checkout, and save 20% on your personalized plan. Because there's no better time to protect the people you love. Trust and Will is an online estate planning service. See website for details.
Segment is next.
You're listening to The Fan.
Ladies and gentlemen, from the Fighting City of Mankato, we close tonight's show with an up-and-coming act, super talented. Put your hands together for Big Daddy Khan.
Big boy's back. Good stuff.
The game is over.
Just listen. Just listen.
Beautiful Monday here, 9 to noon. The talkers galore, just in mid-late June. Scanning old notes and paper trash bins led us to simply, what'd you think of the Twins, huh? Shooting from the lip, there's always a jawful. PA, you only bring up the team when they're awful. Meanwhile, Buxton playing the league like a fiddle. He's sweating his health, historically brittle. Wow, these Brewers, man, they have Mizorowski. We'd be better luck getting innings from Jeff Lebowski. Dobnak back in the mix. Could he be the gift? New look since he switched to driving for Lyft. In the cornfields, it's like they taunt us. Katie goes to Houston. I guess he didn't want us. Whatever, he and the Rockets. Go kick rocks. What do you think of us when Anton's paired with De'Aaron Fox? You
Podcast today's Paul Allen Show, or listen back to previous show and interviews by going to the iHeartRadio app or KFAN.com.
My name is Desiree, and I'm a first-generation college student.
I'm Zach. I'm undecided in my major, and I'm a catcher.
This message was sent to you.
$500 down the toilet along with your performance. You are worthless.
Get the hell off the field before you lose me any more money, you sorry
This is wrong.
I'm more than a bet.
Stop harassing college athletes over a bet. Learn more at morethanabet.org.
Hi, I'm Danielle Fishel from Pod Meets World. So for my two boys, I got Samsung Galaxy Watch for Kids. And I'm not saying I'm kind of jealous of my kids' tech. I'm saying I am definitely jealous of my child's tech. This thing lets them call, text, and explore all from their wrist. No smartphone required. And don't worry, you're still the boss. You control who they can talk to, and yes, you can totally stalk their location in real time. Get Galaxy Watch 7 on T-Mobile, now kid-ready with a new paired line. Visit T-Mobile.com to order yours today. Parent and child must have a Samsung account and Google account with Family Link. Requires initial pairing with a compatible Samsung smartphone and qualifying wireless plan with LTE service activated. Please check with your carrier for more information. Trusted contact applies to compatible apps. It does not restrict communication through third-party or other communication apps. Emergency services and contacts remain accessible. Location sharing is dependent on network connectivity and device being recently active. T-Mobile terms via 24 monthly bill credits when you add a qualifying paired watch line. See additional offer terms on T-Mobile.com.
With depression, it feels like every day you're just going through the motions. I wanted something that could help me feel better fast and that also lasts. That's when my doctor told me about Auvelity.
In a study, Auvelity started working for some as early as 1 week, with significant improvements seen on average at 6 weeks compared to placebo.
Auvelity is helping me to feel more like myself. I'm glad I talked to my doctor about Auvelity.
Auvelity is a prescription medicine for adults with major depressive disorder, MDD. Auvelity is not approved for children under 18. Auvelity may increase suicidal thoughts and actions in young adults. Tell your doctor about sudden changes to mood, thoughts, or behavior. Do not take Auvelity if you have a history of seizure, eating disorder, or have abruptly stopped drinking alcohol or taking benzodiazepines, barbiturates, or anti-seizure medicine. Serious allergic reactions can occur. Do not take if you are allergic to dextromethorphan, bupropion, or any of the ingredients in Auvelity. Do not take with MAOIs. High blood pressure, manic episodes, serious eye problems, and dizziness can occur. Report all medicines you take to avoid a life-threatening condition. Do not take Auvelity if you are or may become pregnant. Side effects can include dizziness, headache, diarrhea, feeling sleepy, dry mouth, sexual function problems, and excessive sweating.
Ask your healthcare provider if Auvelity is right for you. Visit Auvelity.com. That's AUVELITY.com. Or call 866-496-2976 for more information.
Okay, have you heard about this? Last year, Degree changed the formula for their Cool Rush deodorant. Their fans rebelled and wanted the old scent back. And Degree listened. That doesn't happen often.
They admitted that they effed up and are bringing the original Cool Rush scent back. And it's exactly how you remember it. Cool, crisp, and fresh. There's a reason it's the #1 men's antiperspirant. And it's back in Walmart, Target, and other stores for under $4.
So try it and see what the fuss is about. Head to your local stores to try the OG Cool Rush for yourself.